Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N, with another Saturday soulful session of expression sessions, where I express some things and some thoughts to you, and you get down in the comments in the chat and you express yourself too, and we can talk about some things in life and how to make it through. Sitting next to me on my right is my love, my life, my beautiful wife, my co-host, Miss Kiki. What's going on, baby?
Nothing much.
Gotta be something.
Nothing much.
What do you think about this new ambiance down here at Paradox Studios? Just in case I didn't say it yet, Paradox Studios, Austin, Texas, East 5th Street. That's all I know. It's on the corner. I don't know the address. I make sure they find out who you are. What do you think about this new setup, man?
I like it. It's brighter. It feels, more intimate. I like it. I like it a lot.
Intimate here, intimate out. Keep it PG, y'all. So, well, you know what this is. This is expression sessions where we talk to you about some things that's on our mind and helping that help your mind during this time of life. Last couple of weeks, we've been talking about your mindset and how to get that right. And I know, I don't know if you remember, you can go back and watch. We talked about the basic programming in your life, who came from it didn't come from Dr. Bruce Lipton, but that's the story. That's where I got my information from, my resources from. But the basic mindset of your life, how it's programmed through your parents, your grandparents, your schools, your churches, and things that you go through in life, every day in life. Then we followed that up by talking about the battle. Then people you remember that?
I do. That was last week.
Story about a battle in Iraq, and I went back and listened to it. And hopefully none of my homeboys come get me because I put all their names out there. And I'm on my back fighting to get back up. I'm battling to get up. It'll be all out of love. Then we talked about the battle that we go through in life based on the basic principles that was given to us in life. And today I want to talk about the next thing in the B to the BRM. That's being ready. Ready for what? Ready to rebuild your life from that battle and that basic programming about life. So what you think about that, wife?
About rebuilding?
Yeah, about rebuilding. That's where we're going tonight.
I think that's awesome because when you rebuild, and you can go forward. So
elaborate a little more.
About going forward?
Yeah.
When you rebuild yourself, now you can tell your own story. It's not the story that, your mom wanted you to be a doctor, or your husband wanted you to be one way, or your wife wanted you to be one way. Now, when you rebuild, you can tell your own story. What's in your heart? What is your passion? What is your dreams and goals and plans for your life? So I like the rebuilding process because now I get to tell my story from my point of view. And I get to tear down walls and all of these theologies that was placed on me, in my background or my upbringing, and I get to tell my own story.
So can you think about some stories or some times that you had to rebuild something in your life to come back from a battle or a basic mindset that was programmed in you, maybe from the people that was older than you or over you, in charge of you?
Just like in life, or
in life and in general. Maybe you have something that you had to rebuild yourself on at a job. Maybe you talked about before when we divorced, you had to rebuild yourself in that area. That was a battle that you went through. Basically, we got married. You was told you should be married for the rest of your life, or that's what you believe as a wife. That's what you wanted for you. The battle came when your husband walked out. Then you had to rebuild yourself, like some type of story where you had to rebuild yourself. And how did you get through that?
Yeah, that was a big season in my life where I had to rebuild, because a lot of times I think we as women, we look at marriage as, the American dream. I get married, I'm fulfilled in this area, I'm a wife now, I'm in a different season in my life, and sometimes we make that our identity. We forget that we're a whole person before we got married. And I know for me, I spent so much time pouring into my marriage and into my children, I lost myself. I stopped going after the things that I personally wanted, and it was all about you, and it was all about our children. And while that's okay, it wasn't as fulfilling as I would have liked for it to be, because I lost myself.
I've been there. Go ahead, keep going.
It's like, I love y'all, but
let it go. Leave me alone.
But I feel like something is missing, and something was missing. I was missing in action. The things that I wanted out of life, the dreams I had for myself, I kind of put on the shelf. And those things come back to you. It's almost like you you are looking for yourself, but you don't know where to find you. And you think, if I give more to my spouse and I give more to my children, or if I just do what my parents want me to do, then it's going to be fulfilling for me. And it all the while is the opposite. You begin to regret getting married, and you begin to regret having kids, and you begin to regret listening to your parents, because you're being pulled in so many different directions that your own thoughts are buried in there, and it's pouring out of you at one point. I remember a time when I was telling you, babe, I'm tired. I'm just tired. You know how you feel like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
I ain't getting nothing.
And
I
I was a stay-at-home mom, and oh my goodness, your whole day from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep is caring for someone else. You just want adult conversation. You like, oh my God, I just want to talk to somebody about some other than Barney. I mean, can I just have an adult conversation? We can talk about bacon. It don't even matter. I just want to have some intellectual conversation. But I'm like, babe, I'm tired. And I remember this was a pivotal point in my life where I'm just like, you know what? I'm booking myself a trip. And I just got on the plane and I left.
Oh yeah.
I left. I'm just like, I have to get this trip for myself, because if I don't, I feel like I'm going to have a breakdown. And so in me leaving, it gave me space and opportunity to think. It gave me space and opportunity to, as you say, rebuild, or at least come up with a plan to rebuild, because sometimes we get so involved in what everyone else wants us to do that we don't listen to ourselves, and we don't follow the dreams, and we don't follow the things that burn in us to do. And then you begin to, feel like a pressure cooker, like one more thing and I'm just going to explode. And sometimes we do. So I think it's very important in the rebuild phase of our lives to really dig deep into what is it that you want? Where do you want to go in life? And it's okay to take advice, and it's okay for you to get the opinions of others to a certain degree, but don't let that be the end of it for you. Especially if you're like, okay, I want to be over here, and they're like, well, I think with your skill set, you should be over here. And you like, but that sucks. I hate it when I'm over there. It's almost like me getting my bachelor's degree. And my mom was like, oh my God, that's great. Now go for your master's. And I'm like, but it took me so long to get the bachelor's. I'm not thinking about the master's, because that was never my point. That was never my plan to go any further than the bachelor's.
Because she had a plan.
Because my mom had a plan for my life.
That's how it goes. It's just a basic plan that our parents or someone, our friends, our husbands, our spouses, they give us, and I'm just recapping. Because you're going right into it. We're born from 0 to 7, as Dr. Bruce Lipton said, with that basic plan. Like, it's like the Xbox and the PS5. You got a basic package on there. You might get a couple games depending on what you get, or you got the basic cable. It's everything that's downloaded and programmed into you. Then you get a little bit older and you're like, yo, basic cable suck. And I'm dating myself. You're like, yo, I want to pay for HBO, Skinamax. You know what I'm talking about if you old, Cinemax. You want to pay for those extra channels, but now you're like, yo, cable suck. I want Fire Sticks. I want to stream.
Yes.
So that basic mindset of how we watch TV, that basic mindset of how your mother or your father or someone could have seen for you to do school is what they gave to you, and then you did that. And then you realize going into week 2, it was still a battle to get to the better version of you. So
absolutely.
now you rebuilding you. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. And so it comes a point in time in your life where you just have to say no, thank you, but no thank you. I have my own plan, and whether you agree or disagree, this is what I've chosen to do for myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think in rebuilding, you really do have to listen to your own voice, and you really do have to construct your plan based on where you want to go in life. And I think that's so important. Otherwise, you'll end up resenting the people who you followed all of their advice. And one thing that's so crazy about taking everybody's advice and doing everything they want you to do, they still don't be happy. It's like you wanted me to be this person, and now that I'm here, it's not enough still. And you're like, really? I've done all this you asked me, and it's still not enough. You still not happy, and I'm even not happy. So
everybody unhappy.
Everybody unhappy.
Everybody following the basic plan that was given to our life. Now,
nobody's happy.
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, some 70, rebuilding your life.
Man, and those are years and moments you can't get back. So yeah, it's a mess.
Well, it seems like even in a mess, you can find success.
Yes.
If you are willing to rebuild yourself. Now, it's not going to be easy to just wake up the next day and say, all right, I'm going to be a new and a better version of me. You can say that, but then you have to actually walk that out.
Yes.
Me and my wife was laying down the other day. We was half sleep, half woke. Might have been about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we was listening to our 21-day prayer with A-Pop, Eric Thomas's church. Anyhow, you go look it up. And the person I was speaking said something that I always resonated in me. He said, most people believe that seeing is believing. And he said, which I believe, and this was long before I was more spiritual, the Bible even says believing is seeing.
Yes.
Meaning that you have to believe that you can be doing a professional podcast at a studio setting up before you see yourself sitting in a professional podcast room studio doing a podcast. Last year, I said, I believe we're going to do something different next year in 2021 with the podcast. We not just going to be in the living room, in the dining room, sitting in front of the plain yellow wall, y'all. We going to do something else. But guess what? Everything seemed to fall. It all came crumbling down until one day I took my barber, shout out to Trader Barber, go look him up, he over on Wales Branch, until I took his advice and came downtown.
Yes.
And now here we are here today because I believed in the words that I had to say. I believed before I seen the same thing that the preacher had said to us this morning.
Yes, and what's so awesome is like having a vision board.
Absolutely, but
where you
put
vision board or you put everything down you like to accomplish. You don't see it at first. You don't really a lot of times know how it's gonna unfold, but you put it on there anyway, and you strive for it.
And that's exactly what I was going to. I'm telling you all that story because one, I like to talk, and she had her 45 minutes from this week and last week, so I know my wife. I got to get in my time because she on the roll. And I'm going to shut up and she giving y'all some good game. So it ain't just about me, Mr. P.I.E.N. It's expression session. So she quiet, but when she go, you will see her shut me down. Like, still going? Hold on. So you have to believe you can. I believed in my wife in doing this before she believed she could do this. Because she said it's not what she do. You heard her. I was a supporter of you, my kids, and what everybody else said. Ain't no worry about what I got to say. I'm just doing what I need to do anyway. I don't believe I can do this. Now she sit up here and she do this freely, and she's probably a better speaker than me. She just don't see it yet. Because we live in a day and age and a time where women want to hear what's on the woman's mind. They don't want to hear about the man and all the time that he did cheating. They want to know how the woman overcame somebody else's crime. So now is the time for her to believe in herself, to express herself in the way she has to too, by really building a better version of you. Said something earlier, and I'm going to finally get to my point after telling y'all all my stories about how do you rebuild. Now that we at this third step, this ready step, this the rebuild step to move forward. How do I get back? My wife mentioned it at least 4 times if you listen to what she said was on her mind. She took that trip. She had to believe in herself to go take this trip no matter what. I'm out. She said it. I'm tired. I thought she was like, how can you be tired? You're at home with just kids. Well, she told y'all, kids can drive you crazy. Okay? They can drive you crazy. They make you lazy. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to wash up you or the baby. Okay? But she believed it was time for her to do something different. And you got to believe in you too. That's all I told these stories, to make you see You got to believe in you like I have to believe in me.
Yes.
And that's the first step to rebuilding a foundation so you can see, believe what you see before you see what you believe you could be.
Yeah.
Bars. I believe in me. So anyhow, I was saying all that to say what my wife said. You have to believe in you first in every type of way to rebuild a solid foundation and tune out what everybody else has to say. Because no matter what others may think of you, you got to know that it's okay to just be you.
Yes.
But here's the thing. After you start to believe in you and you start to believe what you see for you, you have to learn how to trust you.
Yes.
You have to learn how to trust the God in you. And I'm pretty sure that was something that you went through. You know, people said, oh, girl, it's all right. You know, maybe he wasn't meant for you. It wasn't no good for that. But for you, in your mind, you believe this is where you were supposed to be at. This is what God blessed you to do. But then after you started to rebuild you, you had to trust you to explore you. So how did that look like? How did that look when you started to trust you to do you? Because you had been doing everything that everybody else wanted you to do.
It was definitely a process. It's a scary thing, but you take the steps. You like, if I did what everyone else wanted me to do and they not happy, I mean, I can at least try it for myself. And that's what I would tell myself. I can at least give myself a chance. I gave everybody else a chance, so why not take a chance on me now?
So what is it that once you took that chance, okay, let me say this. I've always trusted myself to be able to do anything I put my mind to. And I don't always do what I think I can do. Yes, I said it. I've always trusted myself to do anything that I put my mind to, but I haven't always did what I put my mind to. Maybe because I trusted myself, but I skipped the first part and I didn't believe in myself. See, you believed in yourself and you trusted yourself, but I think we trust in ourselves because some type of other pain or turmoil that we had already come all by ourselves.
Yes.
So that's when I say, like, you have to start trusting you. You have to start to remember what you've already made it through. You have to remember that although you're here to love and support and use your gift to bless other people, you have to remember what you've been through too so you could get the best version of you. And I think that's probably where that trust came from, you feeling like, okay, I may not have been here before, but I've definitely been in a place where I felt like I was at rock bottom, somewhat beneath the floor. And I was able to come back from that, and you every day you start to do a little bit, you start to build your trust and your confidence.
Absolutely. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's almost like we talked about mindset. Mm-hmm. It's mind over matter. You have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I can do this. Mm-hmm. I'm capable. I'm qualified. Even if you don't feel it, it's almost like you have to believe it before you see it. And I consider myself a spiritual person, a believer and a higher power than me. And I leaned on that. I leaned on that a lot in the beginning. And I still do, because we think that we can do this alone, and it's a process. It's definitely a process that you don't want to do it alone, because you need that person who can cheer you on and keep you going.
You don't need them. You
want that person.
Not just the person. You want a person, a qualified
that
person
you can trust. Yes, wise counsel. Yes, definitely wise counsel. No, that's good.
Specifically, but I want to make sure y'all know you don't just want opinions.
Yes,
you want counsel of somebody has been through. And I'm talking about building that trust in yourself. And you're going right into the subcategory, that building that trust in the spiritual you, the God in you, the greater, higher power in you, whatever that is that say to you, and that's going to disrespect some people too, but that's not for me to discuss or worry about. I wasn't going to call you Boo, but I started to because of God. Whatever God, Buddha, Allah you believe in, that's on you to trust that power in you. The Bible that I read says, he who is in me is greater than he who's in the world. So I got to trust me to trust the spirit man inside of me to believe what I cannot see. But go ahead, it's on you.
Yes, that's good. Because it's a process. And so when you have your wise counsel, they can keep you accountable. They can keep you on track. They can keep you lifted up when you have those moments of weakness, and give yourself grace, because it's not something that happens overnight. It's like you take the steps and then you finally get to a place of, trusting in yourself. And it comes with time. So I know a lot of times we want instant gratification, and a lot of times it don't happen that way.
I'll be like, right now, microwave society. Bing, let's get it. I'm
hot and ready.
Listen to me.
It's like the pizza,
right.
hot and
No,
ready.
Take it how you want to take it. I ain't gonna fake it this expression session. It's like a ready-made house now. They pour the concrete, the foundation is laid, and before you know it, you sign the paperwork, and the house is never paid because it don't stand up to the test of time. Because they didn't take the time to really build the foundation, and you didn't build the foundation to get down to the hurt parts or the bad parts or the program parts of our mind.
That's good.
So we don't take the time. And I can say this because I did construction right around here where I'm at in Austin, Texas, and I poured concrete that sometimes it was a mess. And I know somebody dealing with some fractured concrete stress. Okay? And I ain't talking about their mind. That's a whole nother story. Don't call me because I'm not a contractor. I'm just Mr. P.I.E.N. But no.
So that was in my past life.
That was my past life. Yeah. What I'm talking about, we're just talking about that trust and that speed. And you said get impatient. We're a hot and ready society. And I said that. I want it instantaneously. But when I first started doing this version of me, when I started to rebuild me, I told myself it's going to take about 10 years, G. But then I got on social media, you see. And then I seen E.T. and all the other speakers that was blazing the trail past me. And I said, oh, no. This is not what I was supposed to see. I forgot about what I believed. I just seen what everybody else was doing. And then my life started to feel like a ruin. I'm just being honest with you. Because I was so hyped up and ready to go. I'm ready to go. You want to do the show, but you haven't seen the show in your mind, but you want to do the show at this particular time. But you don't even believe in yourself or trust yourself to sit down and prepare for the show. So you'll know no matter what time the show go, everything gonna flow.
Yes.
You got to get off of that social media sometimes, and you got to dig deep and fight the battle that was playing within your mind so you can rebuild and live your best version of life right about now, starting at this time. Bars. I mean, I just have to do it because God allowed me to. I don't want to be afraid of you. This is what I'm supposed to do because everybody else has a way to express themselves. And if I keep looking at E.T. and everybody around me, I would never believe in me, to trust me, to build me, to be the man that I'm supposed to be and have a good life with my wifey. I'm just talking about our mindset. Do you understand? Do you see? Or do you have to believe before you see? Trust me. Believe it, see it, breathe it. It's on you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You should be used to this by now.
You would think so.
Like that, and I drop it, and
you would think so,
but it's all right.
But you said something that was very important. We get off focus when we start to compare ourselves to other people. And I think we do ourselves a disservice because we're at year 3 and we're comparing ourselves to ET's year 23. Instead of going back to see where he was at in year 3 and doing the comparison there, it's almost like we want to be where he is and we haven't put in that much work. We don't have that knowledge. We don't have that skill set, but we think we do when we really don't.
No, you
because
don't.
I think the journey is more about who you become. So although you think, I'm great at this, I can do this, it's a lot of character work that needs to be done. It's a lot of financial stuff that need to be done. It's bigger than just coming on camera and talking about some stuff.
This thing bigger than Nino Brown. I'm telling everybody.
You want your whole self to be impacted. And plus we have a family. So you want to make sure your family is equipped with what they need for the ride as well. Because no man should be left behind, right?
Can't wake up in the morning and sing and order my steps and dear Lord and take off running by yourself.
Right.
That's not trusting you or the spiritual power within you to get through. So no man should be left behind. But I can tell you this. A lot of times people don't even have the other man or woman on their mind.
They don't.
Because they don't believe in themselves. So how can I believe in someone else?
That makes sense.
Unless I see you doing something that look like it's top shelf. And then I'm chasing you down because I think what I see is just the wealth. And that's what I want. But then like you said, you made a very valid point. It's the process that gets you to success.
Yes.
I say it to myself most of the time. You don't get to a full-time success with a part-time grind. You don't get it from just scrolling on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, IG, and YouTube all the time. You got to sit down, believe in yourself, build yourself, trust yourself and the God in yourself, and deal with what's in your mind.
That's big.
Well, I mean,
dealing with the stuff in your mind?
That's what we're talking about this whole time.
What?
Mindset and the battle plan.
What?
I gave it to you, man.
Wait a minute.
We started at week 1 with the basic mindset that came from 1 or 2, 3, maybe 4, your parents, your grandparents, school, a couple more. Then next week we moved in week 2, which was the battle, the things that you started to battle and work your way through. And now we at the point where you ready now. You know the battles that's coming to you. You know the things that happened in your childhood life. You know that you're not a horrible wife because your husband walked out and had a deadbeat life. You know all that stuff. So now you building yourself and you rebuilding yourself so you can get to your greatest wealth.
Yes.
Now you ready to rebuild. Now you believe in yourself.
Yes.
Now you trust in yourself and you trust in God and you see the spiritual wealth that gets you to the emotional wealth that takes you to the financial wealth where you too will be sitting up and somebody be looking at you on your shelf. I can't believe myself. Thank you, Jesus. It ain't even me, y'all, it's him. And I gotta allow myself to be free with everybody, including them, because I get uncomfortable too. I watch ET, so I don't believe with some of the stuff that I'm saying to you. So I'm actually battling and breaking down my mind right now at this time. You think I'm just talking to you, but I'm really talking to me, and I know it's gonna help you if you listen to believe before you see. And then you really break the chains of your life and your mind, and then you become free.
Yes.
And that's when you really feel like, woo, now I'm about to live the best version of Eve. This ain't no disrespect to my wife, and she heard this before. We talked about this several times, and I'm talking about game plan and BRM and the battle-ready mindset to move forward and change your mind. I didn't really understand that this is something that I've been doing for the last 3 years. Because I've been so busy watching everybody else and not really hearing no cheers. So I'm like, yo, why am I still doing this here? Everything seems to be, in the rear view. But for the last 3 years, I've been doing this, boo. I've been building this up to become a better version of me so I could share it with you.
Yes.
But I had to break chains on my life too. I had to break those chains on my life in order to get through so I could be free and see this version of me. I had to believe what you now see. And once I started breaking those chains and I let some people go, I don't want to mention no names, not this week, but next week, watch out, okay? And I had to break those chains, and there was many people in my life, and you know a number of them, and you know the people in your life name who change you need to break from.
Yes.
I don't want to just talk to her, I'm really talking to you and me. But there's some names in your life that need to be removed very quickly. Because those are the chains that's keeping you in bondage and in mental slavery.
Yes.
You ain't getting no 40 acres in the mule. Joe Biden already said it, see? And I ain't political, E. He said he ain't dealing with his forefathers did to you, G. He rebuilding and he moving forward. He broke those chains. Y'all been set free. God didn't gave it to you just like he gave it to me. But I get it. Some of y'all gonna judge this too. Because you don't believe in yourself, so you don't got nothing else to do. But get on there with your Twitter fingers and clown everybody else, boo. But that's all right. You're going to have to see me again. And next time I might not want to be friends. I'm just being honest with you. If you begin to believe in yourself and change your mindset, your God, not my God, your spiritual power, your universe, your deity, whatever you believe in, it's going to see you through. But that's when you start believing in you and not tearing down the things or people around you because they broke the chains on their life to be set free. You standing there looking at them and you wondering, you don't even know where you're supposed to be. I remember when I left and I divorced you, see, and I found myself at 40, still living in my basement, see, in my sister's basement. But during that time, I broke the chains on my mind and I started to set myself free. I don't care where you at, where you think you supposed to be or where they told you should be. If you know it don't flow through you spiritually, then you need to leave that alone so you can become free.
Yes.
Break the chain on your mind and lose the thing that's holding you back. Woo-wee. So in my last situation, before I got back in this lovely relationship with my wife, I then at a time had another wife. And I needed to set myself free from that life because not that they was a bad person, they just wasn't the right person for me. I had to break the chains in the 18 to 20 year bondage that was tied between us. See, it was a soul tie, she said to me. But when I prayed and I said, yo, I don't want to live this life no more, I want to be free, he had to go stay in his sister's basement because he wasn't sweet financially. But look what happens when you start to break the chains. You find yourself like New Edition singing, can you stand the rain? I couldn't stand it, but I had to in order to get through. That's why I'm sitting here next to her right now too. That's why I'm doing this. I had to break the chains by sitting in that place where I felt so much pain. I had to talk to God. I had to realize and know what was my real name. And I had to understand that I could begin to live life and have what we call fame. Not for other people cheering my name, but for me celebrating my name and being able to maintain some type of sanity.
Yes.
When you break the chains in your life, that's when you really get free. When you, and I talked about my last situation, I don't want to go there, but when you broke the chains back in 2013, after all those years I had been in and out, back and forth on the scene, when you finally broke the chain and we was divorced and that thing was done, you had personally, probably spiritually felt like, okay, Lord, I won. I'm free. And me, I was the one standing on the steps who was torn. But the chain was broken for you and you were set free. No more did you have to be responsible for little old me. Yes. Now it was just me and my problems one-on-one, you see. That's why y'all afraid to get alone and spend time with yourself. That's why they got you watching TV. You so busy watching someone else, you don't see yourself. And then you worried about why you talking about insanity, not the workout thing either. You going insane because you haven't begun to break the chains from the things that was planned in your life that you started to battle through. Then once you start to rebuild, believe, and to trust you, it's a couple more chains and a couple more little pains that you might have to find your way through before you truly move forward with that mindset and be the best version of you. Because the devil and the enemy and negative people around you, they got some tricks up their sleeve too. They don't want to see you outgrow them and leave them behind. You must be out your mind. You know what I'm talking about. They don't want to see you lead in behind. So those are chains that still connected to your mind. Why? You can't leave the hood behind. But the hood is staying always on your mind. You can't go out of town. You come back to the crib. You don't know if you're going to smile or frown because somebody that ran up in your crib and shut it all down. That's only if you're from the hood, you know what I'm talking about. But you could be suburban prep boy life. You could have a wonderful life. And then you could have been doing drugs in the late night. And then you still got some homeboys who want to get high, who want to get right. And I ain't talking about just smoking weed. I'm talking about those things that make you feel like you need them in order to be free. That's a chain on you. You got to let that go too.
Yes.
This thing called a mindset is something, again, that was programmed in you. But when you begin to break those chains and you begin to know your name, which I had to go through sitting down in that basement, I came to bring the pain hardcore to your brain. Let's go inside. Tupac. Hardcore to your brain. That's the only way you get free of the shackle chains. Kunta Kinte said, you know my name, Kunta Kinte. They put the chains on him, they beat him down. But he still wasn't about to change his name. They had to beat him down almost to a Buddy Pope till his smile became a frown. But some people are willing to break the chains in order to truly know their name and set themselves free. So in their life, not your life, not my life, so in their life, they can maintain their sanity to get the best version of them. And that's what this whole thing is about you seeing yourself free. And I'm just telling you stories about how you can get free for things that happen to me. This thing ain't easy, see, but it's possible if you just believe it before you see.
Yes.
It's a mindset, G. This thing was given to you. So now what you gonna do? Are you gonna take the advice of somebody who haven't changed their life, or you gonna take the counsel of somebody who left and then got back with their wife to build this thing that they believed before they seen? Hey, you ain't got nobody to be mad at. If you feel a little upset, you feel a little mean, just go look in the mirror. I guarantee they'll show you who the problem is. I guarantee you it'll show you who the problem is. But once you decide to break that chain, when you got divorced, even though you still kept Smith as your last name to maintain the thing that we had going on with the kids, for me, you had faraway sleep. you was gone. You was gone. There was a song you used to sing, Break Every Chain. I couldn't stand it, man.
Oh, yes. That was my favorite
But
song.
I didn't understand it until I had to break the chains myself. And when you breaking the chains for yourself, you have to take that negative thinking and box that thing somewhere far, far away. Don't even keep it in the house. Don't even put it on the shelf. But you take that negative thinking and you start to believe in yourself. And then you start to trust yourself. And then that's when other people will start to see your great spiritual internal wealth. Because you doing it for you, not for what you see on social media, G. Blake, what is so funny? No, don't be. Y'all can't see Blake right now. Blake is the everything man back there. And Blake is just back there doing his thing, and he's laughing. I don't know if he's laughing at me or if he's laughing at something else, but it just inspires me because Blake is free, and that's what I'm talking about. He's just doing his own thing, and that's all I've been saying this whole time for the last 3 weeks, last 3 years, man. Now, don't do your thing so selfishly till you be like old school arrogant E, and everybody can F-U-C-K get it, G.
I would not do that, my good sir.
Okay, that's what it used to be like for me. But when I started to believe me and trust me, and I started to love me and set myself free, I was able to give that love to everyone else and do it more positively.
Yes.
That's why it's a positive in every negative. If you just be willing to look through the stuff that's happening in your life, that's testing your life, and see. You got to see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is a tunnel, not a funnel. This is a tunnel, not a funnel. Narrow is the gate, so is a funnel. But wide is the path to destruction. This is a tunnel. This is a tunnel. We've all been forced into a way of life based on the things that was told in our life. But if you want to get to your life, you might have to be willing to funnel through the pain in your life. Ooh-wee, I didn't even know I was going to say that, y'all. I was going somewhere else with the tunnel funnel thing. But then the scripture came to me and I'm like, gotta change it. That's the power of extemporaneous speaking, see? But if you sit down and you practice and you read and you study yourself, you can live your life this freely too, G. But you just got to do it for you, not for me. You got to do that thing that you do. Like, I speak. That's all I come down here to do. I don't ask about how to run no cameras, how to set up no wires. If you need somebody to move your furniture, call me. I'm your man. I might not be for hire. I just help you out. But I know who I am now and what I'm called to do. So I'm able to speak freely and give my heart and my rough times and be transparent from me to you. Because I know it's something that you're going through. You don't want to admit it to me, but maybe you'll look in the mirror tonight and admit it to you. Maybe you'll see that there's a stain on your brain that you can't maintain, and you want to rebuild this thing so you can really know your name.
Yes.
I didn't like Ethan when I was growing up. I keep talking about my name and breaking the chains or your name. I didn't like Ethan when I was growing up. Ain't too many Ethans in the 80s in Detroit, Michigan, okay? It's a bunch of Leroys, Jeromes, and Roys, and Anthonys, and Tonys. And then you got an Ethan, okay? They can't even spell it, okay? But then I got older when I was living in that basement, going through all that pain, when I started to break the chains and remove the stains, where I learned my name. And I looked down in the Bible in the dictionary to set myself free. It said, Ethan. Ethan is strong and optimistic, permanent and wise, constantly being faithful, always enduring and unchanging. I know who I am. I know what I'm called to be. It's the enemy of your mind that want to keep you stuck to your past so you can't be free. But I tell you what, we living in a different time. So if you waiting on somebody else to control your mind, you gonna be lost for a long time.
Yes.
Break the chains and set yourself free. This thing is called B2BRM. It's a mindset thing, G. Basically, it was given to you. You had to battle your way through. Now I'm gonna help you rebuild you so you can move forward and you can do you too. It's 2021.
Recorded for 41 minutes. Wow.
Nice.
Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. 2021. The way to have fun is to live life on your terms. As long as nobody else bridges you burn. Because you might have to cross them one day again. And then that person might be like me. You burnt me. I don't want to be your friend. God's still working on me, turn the other cheek. Slap me, it's going down, you see. I'm just being honest with you. Mr. P.I.E.N gonna turn into a negative Nate real fast. And that's when I see a negative in every positive. You could have been smacking me with love, but God from above gonna have to hold that chain. No, in all seriously, this is 2021, man. It's time for you to be free. You don't need nobody permission to be thee. You don't need no job to go to be the best version of you. But if you are working the job, you work the job. Don't let the job work you. Work the job because it's something greater that you need to do, something that you believe, that you see, and getting your way through. That's what the job is supposed to do anyway. It ain't supposed to take care of you for the rest of your days. You see how it play out when you retire. Man, you got some older parents and some grandparents that say, man, this insurance just ain't working out what it's supposed to be. I wish I would have did what I thought, what I believed in me. And your grandparents, those be the ones that set you free because they believe in your dreams and tell you to move on because your parents are still living by their game plan. They got it all wrong. Not to say that because I'm a parent too. And I'm still battling my way through and I help my kids do the same thing too. It's all part of the process, see? When you learn your name, strong and optimistic, permanent and wise, you okay with being free. You okay with being free. I didn't took up all your time on mindset. See?
No, you rolling.
But once you break that chain and you start to know your name, life is that much easier to maintain. People might think you strange. People might think you didn't went insane because you're not answering to that old name. I don't even let people call me EJ no more. My name is Ethan. And if you can't pronounce that, we can talk about it till you get it right. I'm just saying, because this is what I believe. My name means something to me.
Yes.
Your name should mean something to you too. I don't care what you've been through. If you woke up today and you hear my voice today, it's still something that you have to say about how you supposed to live life your way. And that's what I believe for me. As long as I'm not tearing anybody else down or belittling anybody else, I can live my life how I want to. Because at the end of the day, only person I can save is myself.
That's true.
What you think about that?
I think that's all right.
You like it's another one. You gonna try to drop that on me at night. You done took over my time, and now you want me to just drop something out the sky.
I mean,
Okay, well, cool. Y'all see her. She on the scene. Again, and I just want to recap for y'all. Make sure you got this thing that we talking about tonight. So when you lay down and go to bed, or when you stop watching this video, you change your mind and you start to get it right. This thing is called the basic to the battle ready mindset. It's the B to the BRM. Basically, you was programmed to Battle your way through to rebuild and move forward to become you. See, I know. It felt like a punishment, boo, when your parents was telling you what to do. Now it's all up to you. Because if you heard this video, you know it's true. Because it was up to me too. From walking out on my wife to living in the basement and feeling like I done ruined my life to believe in myself and seeing a brighter light. Look, we upstairs, y'all. Don't you see the natural light? We brighter tonight. Hey, yeah. Yeah, I'm a superstar. Lupe Fiasco said it. I be listening to that. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. Because the lights is on and the camera's warm and something like that. But if you are what you say you are, because that's exactly what you are, it's what you say. Our words is something that don't play. What you speak out of your life will be your life. I had on my wall, and she can attest to this, I will get back with my wife. I will be back in Austin, Texas in 2018. And I wrote that in 2017, 9 months before it happened, if you know what I mean. I went through a divorce. I went through moving. I went through doing Uber and Lyft to get myself back on the scene. I had did myself to Michael Jordan. I was on my own dream team. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. The lights is on. Have no fear. Break down the things that was programmed in your mind so you can live the life for the rest of the time that you got life the way you want to live your life. The worst thing, the only thing, as Ellen Keller say, the only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision.
Yes.
Do you visualize something bigger for yourself, E? That's what I say to me. Do you visualize something bigger for yourself, E? That's what I say to me. I visualize, I believe before I actually see it. And that's how I know I'm going to be well off too financially. Because this thing that I'm doing, this is not about me. It's bigger than me. This is for you coming from me. And when you doing what you supposed to do for you, you'll come through and the wealth will find you too. As I like to say, in Michigan, we drink pop. In Texas, it's soda. You know, back when I was a kid, you said you drink pop. Let me get a pop. Somebody actually popped you. Now it's soda, but whatever. Pop. It's purpose over your profit. Purpose over profit. When you find out what your purpose is in life, by breaking it down, going through the basic mindset, battling your way through, rebuilding your way through, once you find out what your purpose is, when you chase your purpose in life, the profit will come to your life before you even understand how fast you was living life. Why do I say that? Because then you doing what you love and you touch from that warm sensation, that feeling from above, whatever you call that for you. You've broken the chains, you believed, and you've seen your way, and you build yourself through. Now I need you to tackle that purpose so the prophet can find you. Figure out your name. Life is not a game. It's a ton of experiences you see. And the more you go against different experiences, the more you find a better version of thee. Allow yourself to be free by finding your purpose and letting the prophet come after we. I say we because it's a crew of us in here. We were talking about that earlier. You didn't hear. Building some stuff over here. Anyhow. Yeah. Starting out to be a wonderful year. I hope y'all celebrating 2021 because we're just going to continue to build and continue to give you real life all while having fun.
And the election of Joe Biden.
Absolutely. What he said, the election of Joe Biden. Don't take me to word on that because I don't care about who in the White House. I believe more in me than I do in them because if I believe in him, then I don't really believe in me, and they keep tearing down the damn country anyway, so doing whatever they want, see? But here's the thing, what we do, and I like what Blake said, because I'm not a Joe Biden hater or a Trump hater or none of those haters. But that's what he believed. And you have to believe and say what you believe to set you free. It's all part of the battle ready mindset program that I'm breaking down that you hearing right now that you almost getting for free. All it's costing you is your time, but it's gonna come a time where it's gonna cost you a little bit over a couple of dimes. So you might want to process this knowledge-wise going through your mind. Whew. Man, oh man. Why are you looking like that? Why are you looking like that? It's so quiet in here, y'all. This is when I stop believing in myself. I be like, the walls is closing in. Ain't nobody saying nothing, but I know I'm working on something because everybody over there just nod and they doing this. When you doing what you need to do, you don't gotta talk about it. They'll see you coming through. Y'all see me. It's like the third week. I've been coming in here bow tie fly. I want to make sure it catch your eye. I ain't saying I'm gonna do this every week either, okay? Until I want to take a breather. This is how I need you to see me because I believe in me. It's a positive in every negative. If you willing to look through the BG, not the music BGs, but the B family. Sometimes I let it go, sometimes I don't let it flow. But if you're willing to look through those dark times and battle those programs that was placed within your mind, it's like when you jailbreak your iPhone, they program some things in there that they wanted it to work a certain way, but just like, nah, I want to be able to do this and I want to be able to do that. So this thing I'm about to have to hack. Not me, I got an Android, don't worry about that. You got to jailbreak that thing so you can get the life that you see for yourself and you can live it to the fullest, if you know what I mean. Wife, you got something to say? Because I think I'm done. You ain't got nothing to say?
No.
Well,
What do I say after that?
you say whatever you want to say. I was just looking to stop on time. I thought I was going to stop early, but my mouth and my heart always gets in the way. Hey, but it was something that I needed to say. And before I close, I want to say this today. Lord, I thank you for using me your way, even though I didn't say it earlier today before I started with this conversation. You see, I just thank you for blessing the whole crew, G. We gonna continue to get through this as we build this, and I'm gonna talk to you like I talk to you because that's what I'm supposed to do. Prayer don't have to be a ceremonial thing. It just have to be something that you truly mean. And I truly mean thank you for allowing us to do another podcast and make this one go through as we continue to learn, build, and grow. I'm believing in you, and I'm believing in them that we gonna see a better version of every last one of us. In God I trust. I can't speak for nobody else. I hope this motivation and inspiration was something for your situation to free and relax your mind as if you are on a vacation. Vacation, mind transformation. That's been another wonderful, soulful session of Expression Sessions. Down at Paradox Studios, Austin, Texas, East 5th Street. It's on the corner, Light 10 building. Check it out. We out. Peace.